Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. If I sound crazy, it's because I was mighty sick the last couple of days. And that is also why this review is delayed. But we are back, and we're going to be talking about Better Me Than You by Big Sean. And off the rip, it is not better him than somebody else. 21 songs, an hour and 6 minutes long. This is his 8th studio album. Big Sean is a relatively big artist. Obviously, he's been in the game for an ill minute now. I Don't Fuck With You being his big song. He blew up around when Kendrick and Cole and Drake were all blowing up as well. So I've had some time with this album. I've listened to it a couple of times, only just to grade it. If I wasn't grading this, I would probably never listen to it again. He does have 22 million monthly listeners, so obviously Big Sean does still have fans. I don't know if this makes sense, but Big Sean does kind of feel like the Paul George of rap. You know, he'll have those guys who really think that he's great, that he belongs on that Mount Rushmore, that he's really Himothy, and probably does garnish some respect in all aspects, because obviously he does have some bars throughout his career that he's dropped that have been really good. But in my eyes, similar to Paul George, all that skill is really for nothing. You haven't done anything. You have the KDs, you have the LeBrons, you have the Stephs, you have the Drakes, the Kendricks, and the J. Coles who are around you, who are put in that, who you're put in that same category with, but you're truly not on that same tier, in my opinion. And I think this is just another example of how that's just not the case for him. Getting into the album though, it's hard to judge. This feels like an old head album. Big Sean is Big Sean is 36, Drake is 38, I believe. Kendrick is 37, J. Cole is 39. So all of these guys are all in that same age bracket. But again, Kendrick and Cole and Drake, they can still make hip music. They can still start a trend. Big Sean's album feels like if he wanted to make music for an older generation than he belongs to, in my opinion. I don't think anybody in my generation would want to listen to this album. I don't think anybody from a younger generation would want to listen to this album. So I don't really know who his target is anymore at this rate. Maybe it's just his true Big Sean fans who could all be in their late 30s like him. Again, this was hard to listen to. This was hard to get through, in my opinion. An hour and 6 minutes. It does have an intro and 2 skits. And it does have a couple features. But this album is just, it's not good in my opinion. It's not too hot. Iconic started off okay. When I started playing, I was like, okay. And then it just went downhill from there. Typecast is just, what the fuck what are we talking about? I might have to bump down the lyrics grade 0.5 now that I say that out loud, because I did not enjoy this album. The song with Gunna sounds better than him. Apologize. You somehow made a Lil Dicky song. I've never given credit to Lil Dicky to having a sound, but this sounds like a Lil Dicky song, and it's not even a good Lil Dicky song either, surprisingly. On Up sounds like an outro track, and it's the number 10 song. It's in the middle of the album. Get You Back is just a instant skip for me. Motherfucker said, "Too real under Sean's teachings," is what trust means. That, when I heard that just threw me off for the rest of the album. Break the Cycle, I understand. It's not good. It's not good. Who You Are is just not good. Black Void with Thundercat and Aaron Allen Kane. I don't know what song it is, but I've heard the song before, so it's not what he thought it was going to be, because I've already heard it before. And then Focus, even just as a skit. If you just listen to Focus as a skit, it's just so corny. And again, Big Sean is in that era, in that age of Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick, but they're not making corny shit like this. It might be corny in a different way, don't get me wrong, but this is just like an old head that's like out of touch. I can't go out, I gotta lock in. Like, just listen to it. It's corny. And I just think that's the tone of this whole album. There's not one song that I don't think I'll ever listen to again. Yes, had a chance at being good. The production is decent, but his performance is just awful. And then Precision, which I believe was the leading single of the album, it just sounds like a 2K12 track. Like, what are we doing? I really don't know where. I know Big Sean is always talking about, oh, I'm in the shadows, I'm working, I'm da 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 da. But let's get into the light. Let's see what's working. Let's see what trends are active in the world of music. Because there's nothing on this album that anyone needs to listen to, in my opinion. With that being said, I'm gonna just give you the grades off rip. Production 7. Again, a song like Yes, there were moments throughout the album where I thought there could have been a good song coming, but it just went downhill from there. Break the Cycle, a good soulful trap music song, but again, just it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. There weren't too many bad moments, but there were just so many moments that could have been better, that just got left on a shelf and just went down from there. So I gave it a 7 for production. For vocals and lyrics, for vocals, I gave it a 3. It does have traditional Big Sean sound, but there's a few moments where I feel like he's just forcing this this cadence and this tone in his voice where he's really trying to sound like this cool, suave ass dude. But it just sounds corny over a certain period of time where you just keep doing that voice. And then for lyrics, again, just forcing this, it's Paul George. You know, you see that video of him just on Kelly Oubre, like tween, 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 cross, tween, cross, tween. You might make a shot once in a while, but where are you going? What are you really doing? Big Sean is just, he's capable of saying a lot of syllables in a smooth way, but he's really not saying shit. Too real into Sean's teachings. What the fuck is that? So again, this album made me, it's not enjoyable in my opinion. A 3 and 2.5 for vocals and lyrics. For cohesion, a 6.5. There is no cohesion, to be honest. How do you go from Typecast to Break the Cycle to Who You Are, just sonically, back up to Yes, again, on up in the middle of the album? It's just, that's an outro song. That's a true outro song in the middle of the album. I guess the album is just about his life as the cohesion, but that's not enough for me in this case. 6.5. Originality, I gave it an 8. I saw on Twitter a few people calling one of the songs, like I think the Yes one, Baby Keem song. Obviously he has some similarities to Drake, but and even that Little Dicky moment, but there wasn't too many moments where I was like, oh, I know this. I think it was overall relatively original, so I did give it an 8. And then for Care, I gave it a 9. Again, maybe he's just out of touch. There weren't too many things that made me say this dude doesn't care about the album. I know he has a child now, which he mentioned on the album. He had The Rock on the album. I think he tried to make it good. I think he could have picked his features better if he wanted to. He's got Sid, Gunna, Larry June, Cash Cobain, Nassan, Ellie Goulding. You have Ellie Goulding, and half the song is a skit. Stop fucking talking. Stop talking. Let's make some music, dog. Stop talking. Care, I gave it a 9. Care is for the most part, but it just could have been better. With a 7, a 3, a 2.5, a 6.5, a 8, and a 9, that does put him at a 72, a C-. I think that is more than fair. I don't even want to give him that, to be honest. I'm not even trying to be a hater. I have no real issue with Big Sean, but there's just no real reason to listen to this album, in my opinion. If you like Big Sean, maybe go ahead. If you're a person that isn't an old head but isn't a young head and is struggling to find music that maybe makes you feel like you like hip-hop and feel in tune with the young crowd, then maybe this is the album for you. If you're old head and you want to feel like you like some young music, maybe go check this out. But if you're a true old head, I don't even think you'll like this either. I don't want to be a hater. Again, Big Sean, I sound like a hater, but this is just my honest reaction to this album. I didn't really enjoy it. I don't think I'll ever listen to it again. Better You Than Me. Better You Than Me than listens to it, but this is Better Me Than You by Big Sean. I'll see you in the next one.